absolutely
StreamYard with a red
bias.
dot.
Call
We are live
248-799-1100.
Oh, I see the live now.
freelifecenters.com. Do it now.
The Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR.
Well, there you have it. The theme that I look forward to every day from noon to 3. And millions and millions and millions of other people look forward to hearing that theme. Then we listened carefully, hoping that Rush was going to be there doing his show. And I have to tell you the truth, even when I filled in for Rush and I heard that music and I was sitting in his studio, I was disappointed Rush wasn't coming out. I was thrilled to be there behind the golden EIB microphone, but I knew I had impossible shoes to fill, but I was going to give it my best for the next 3 hours sitting in for the great Rush Limbaugh. His show began yesterday in a way that we knew was coming, didn't know it would be quite like this. To hear from this Limbaugh. Cut one there, Brian.
For over 32 years, Rush has cherished you, his loyal audience, and always look forward to every single show. It is with profound sadness I must share with you directly that our beloved Rush, my wonderful husband, passed away this morning due to complications from lung cancer. As so many of you know, losing a loved one is terribly difficult. Even more so when that loved one is larger than life.
And that he was. And now in death, I think people will learn more about him, his legendary generosity, philanthropy that people don't always know about people. And today we will spend a lot of time talking about our friend Rush Limbaugh. The team is here. Of course, Marie Osborne just finished our WJR News. Dana Clark is raring to go with the traffic, weather, and whatever else we're talking about, including back to talking about some restaurants now that we can slowly but surely get out to those. Brian Morton behind the scenes at the Golden Tower of the Fisher Building. Of course, my Kim, I'm happily alongside her, and she printed up a gazillion stories about Rush and the news of the day. And our executive producer extraordinaire, running the show by the grandfather's clock, which you can actually see at WJR.com or the WJR Facebook page for the first 45 minutes of the show. We're not only on the radio, we're online. And we've got a group of Paul's pals that get up very early and follow us, not just on the radio, but online, and participate because they can put in their comments and messages, and we refer to them from time to time. Our executive producer, Ann Thomas.
Good morning, Deb. Happy Friday Eve.
Happy Friday Eve on this Thursday morning. Tough one. We knew it was coming. Kind of started to sense it was coming sooner rather than later, because it was unusual for Rush to miss a full week. And we talked about that prayers were needed and hopes and miracles and all of the rest of it. He lasted a year. It was a year ago, February. It was last February that he shocked us with the news that he had not just lung cancer, but stage 4 lung cancer. And, you know, he never, I mean, I couldn't listen all the time, but when I was listening and in our conversations back and forth online, never mentioned regretting smoking all those cigars. And I've not heard anyone say specifically, well, you can't smoke all those cigars and not get lung cancer because you don't inhale cigars, or you certainly shouldn't. I never heard him talk about that, but boy, there are a lot of pictures with him in the media today with a cigar, and he did love his cigars. He introduced me to cigars over 25 years ago. I thought I posted a picture on Instagram, and I'm getting all kinds of people saying they liked my photo, but I can't find it, the picture on Instagram. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Go to your page.
Yes, I'm at my page.
Did you click on your photo on the page?
My photo?
You know, when you go to your page,
Yeah.
you click on your, oh, Annie's got it.
Yeah, how come I can't get that?
It should be under your posts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice picture, Paul.
Well, you know how long ago that was? I still don't see it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And Sophie helped me post one yesterday that Rush had done a recording for Sophie when we were out to dinner one night, because he was thrilled to hear that she loved his Rush Revere books. Back when she was that little, she was reading those children's books he wrote, which were excellent. And so he did a little video on the spot, which I tried to post on Instagram, but I don't think I did. And I still don't see the one that Annie wait a minute, Annie, is that picture the one on my Instagram or the one I forwarded to you?
That's the one on your Instagram.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Because I can't find it. Oh, well. Anyway, it's not important for me to find it. I'm happy that some people are finding it because it was over 25 years ago. I'll tell you the story after we take care of business. 5:44 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Lions Clubs International.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed, support causes that matter, change lives, change communities, change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
And speaking of learning more, we've got WJR Traffic and Weather First and Dana Clark.
Traffic First, sponsored by Primetime Testing Laboratory. In need of autonomous or electric vehicle testing, Primetime Testing is the industry's best and complete automotive testing services, from component level to full vehicle for your next automotive project. Get a free quote at primetimetestinglab.com. That's primetimetestinglab.com. Accident along the Lodge northbound after 7 Mile. That right lane is blocked. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, where buying a car is fun, fast, and friendly. No advertised fake lowball prices, just great service, great pricing. Come home to Gordon Chevrolet on Ford Road, just west of Merriman and Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads.
I pick up a light dusting of snowfall with some snow showers moving through as we head through today. Snow showers accumulating to maybe an inch in spots. 26 degrees tonight. Snow showers early, 15. Suburbs a bit colder. Or any sun in the morning. We'll go behind the clouds later, 27. Dry Saturday, maybe some more snow showers on Sunday. From a Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stitching on News Talk 760 WJR.
What do you guys have for temperature? Because I know we have different temperatures.
16.
18 here.
In the teens.
16.
Teens, right.
18 is what I have as well. Yeah. All right. About 18 degrees. We've had discussion about this. I guess I'll make the final determination, and that is, this is where we usually play Rush Limbaugh's little addition to our morning program. We have one because they send them down ahead of time, obviously before we knew about Rush's passing. He tapes them ahead of time, quite a bit ahead of time, I guess. And so I don't know if this is a repeat or a new one, but I didn't want us to just not have it. So I'd have to say, unless somebody comes up with some kind of a programming idea of the best of Rush or I don't know what, but at least for now, our final little check-in with Rush Limbaugh.
According to Politico, the politics of COVID-19 has reached a boiling point in California. It's not because Governor Newsom flaunted his own virus restrictions by attending an upscale party with his upscale lobbyist buddies at an upscale hotel. It's not California lawmakers partying at a conference in Maui, again flouting the travel rules they impose on everybody else. No, it's something more local, screwal, Early on in the pandemic, Newsom and his Democrats kowtowed to the powerful teachers' unions by shutting down the schools. And all these months later, schools are still shut down. Instead of being in class, most of the 6 million California school children are at home. Those who attend private schools, like Newsom's kids, they're back in the classroom. But other students, including most minority children, they've got nowhere to go. Now, even a few Democrats are breaking ranks and are calling this two-tier system state-sanctioned segregation. It's inequality on parade. This is not what California stands for, they say. But see, they're dead wrong. This is exactly how liberal elites who run California have governed for as long as they've been in power. Their kids, their buddies, their special interests get the breaks. Everybody else gets broke, especially the minorities they claim to represent and care about. State-sanctioned segregation? Yep, exactly. Business as usual.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3 today, right here on WJR. Well, of course, Rush won't be here today, noon to 3. I have no idea what they have planned to put on in his show.
I have a little bit of a hint for you, Deb.
And this is,
they are going to, for a while now, we are going to hear some best of shows of Rush.
oh, they are going to, huh?
Kind of
I
like
wondered
what we
about
heard
that.
yesterday. Like what we
Yeah.
heard yesterday, yeah.
And
So-
then today on WJR at 11 this morning, we have a special Fox News Radio presentation. I don't know if you got a chance to hear a bit of that. They fed that yesterday. You know anything about it, Annie?
No, I haven't heard it. I know it ran last night live on some stations, but I have not heard exactly what it is and who's on it. But it should be interesting.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of interesting stuff. So now are we off radio and just on with our...
Just chatting with our Paul's
yeah.
pals.
So we thank all of you. Rush was, let's not forget, Rush was on an episode of Family Guy, Patrick Mendes, reminding us of that. Thank you, Patrick. We really appreciate that. Anybody have anything that they want to mention or anything they see from our Paul's Pals posting here?
Well, I do like the suggestion that during the Easter season from Don Kruger that we no longer call ourselves Paul's Pals, but instead Paul's Peeps.
Perfect.
Paul's Peeps.
That's clever.
I was afraid he was going to give us up for Lent. School is back open today, Lori tells us. I guess that would be right. They're past the President's Day break and the snow break and any other breaks. Anything else here? Let me just going through these.
Paul, does Brian have that little piece where Rush talks about Sophie and the one you sent me?
I don't think so. I don't think I could. I don't think I could get that sent to him. I was having nothing, of course. What else is new? But trouble with trying to do a lot of that stuff because I, for example, tried to post that video on my Instagram account, and Sophie tried to help me, and we thought we did it, and then I looked at it later, and I said it's not there, and she couldn't figure out where it went. Oh, I see now the picture. I guess I had to turn my phone off. You realize how I don't turn my phone off hardly ever. Anyone else?
Yeah, no, you're supposed to turn it off even every few days, and you can just turn it off and then turn it back on. You don't have to leave it off. Just a quick on and off to read.
Right. Well, I generally I don't do it unless it starts.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR.
It is Thursday, February 18th, the 49th day of 2021. There were 316 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift, and a gift to be able to remember our friend, our colleague, Rush Limbaugh. And the picture did show up even finally on my Instagram after everyone else's, because I kept getting these mentions that people love the picture. It's a picture. We had a promotion at my radio show in Philadelphia. So that had to be over 25 years ago, because I've been back here full time doing the morning show in my 25th year. And we had a promotion where you could win a trip with me to New York City to be in the audience of Rush's television show. So we had a lot of very happy people on a bus up to New York City, not too far from Philly, of course. And we go in there and we get seated because you have to be in there before the show starts, obviously. It was, does anyone remember Rush's television show? It was over 25 years ago.
No.
It was a fine show. A lot of guys who try to switch over from radio to television don't do so well. He did fine. And I'll never forget this. And this, I hope you understand how this sums up the kind of guy Rush was. I had talked with Rush on the phone. I don't know if I'd ever met him yet, face to face. We were not at 25 years ago. It would be a stretch to say we were best buds or, pals even. It was the beginning, really, of our relationship. But Rush came out before his television show began and goes, Where's Paul W. Smith? I understand Paul W. Smith is in the audience. Do you know how big a deal that was to do that in front of my listeners on my little Philadelphia radio show? Because we had Rush noon to 3, obviously, and he was a superstar already, a budding superstar. But he didn't have to do that. But he knew that would be an important thing to do, so he took the time. He cared enough to come out. It's my friend Paul W. here, and I understand he's got some of his listeners here with him. And I say, hi, Rush, and he walks over and we shake hands, and my audience that's sitting around me think I'm now a big star. Mm-hmm. And that was just how generous he was. I can't begin to tell you how many people in other strong and big positions wouldn't have even thought to do something like that. Because it was nothing. There was nothing in it for him, and he knew everything in it for this talk show host from Philly, and he did that. And that picture that's on Instagram, Paul W. Smithsta, was after the show. He said, "Come on up, Paul. Sit at my desk." And then he stood behind me, and the set was very simple. It was a bunch of his books because he was writing a bunch of books then. And not the children's books, but that came later. And so that picture was on the set there, and I presented with him with much fanfare. I went across the river into Canada and bought him a Cuban cigar because I knew he loved cigars, and it was a Partagas. I'll never forget that part. And I presented to him the cigar, and he goes, "Oh, a Partagas Lusitania," which I didn't know that was what it was, and he knew cigars, I didn't. And he said, "Wait 1 minute." He went running down the hall, came running back. And he handed me a Hoya de Monterrey double Corona. He said, "Here's a Hoya de Monterrey double Corona. It's rated 99 right now in Cigar Aficionado." Well, I thought 99, that's like unbelievable. What a cigar. So I took that cigar home. I knew nothing about cigars. Put it on my dresser and said, "I'm going to smoke that cigar for a big occasion one day." And as I kept looking at that cigar on the main line there in Philadelphia, it appeared to be getting bigger. And bigger and bigger. Again, I didn't know anything about having to put a cigar in a humidor to keep it moist. So that cigar dried out on my dresser and basically exploded. It just kind of blew itself up. I never had the heart to tell Rush I didn't get to smoke the first cigar he ever gave me, that 99 rated Hoya de Monterrey double Corona.
Mm.
I suspect he knows now.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. It is 5:57 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Lions Clubs International.
We are Lions. We bring hope where it's needed, support causes that matter, change lives, change communities, change the world. Visit lionsclubs.org to learn more.
Boy, those Lions clubs do a great job, don't they? Service to the community. We have it, our WJR traffic and weather first, and Dana Clark.
We do have an accident out there, Paul W. Lodge northbound after 7 Mile. Incident is blocking that right lane. Also construction that's happening along 75 both directions, northbound and southbound between Netto Road and 275. Intermittent 15-minute total closures expected until further notice due to emergency utility work. You can take Telegraph instead. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Window World. Call Window World at 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW. For your window, door, or siding project, take advantage of 0% financing for 60 months. Window World is America's largest exterior replacement remodeler. Call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW or visit windowworlddetroit.com for a free in-home or virtual quote. We are looking at cloudy skies between 16 and 18 degrees. Not as cold as yesterday, but still chilly. You need to layer up if you're headed outside. We're going to see some light snow happening about after 7 a.m., 1 to 2 inches before the end of the day. So the morning commute should be good. The afternoon drive may be a little sticky. A high of 26 tonight, mainly cloudy, snow showers this evening once again, and your low 16. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News, with Marie Osborne in about 2 minutes.
So Dubster,
Yeah, 5:58.
I took
Yes, ma'am.
that picture. I took that picture, and I posted it on WJR's Twitter feed, in case anybody would like to take a look at it too. So it's also on WJR Twitter, and I'll put it on Facebook when we're finished with the roundtable. It's a really nice picture, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, that
really
was
nice.
it was not formatted right for my Paul W. Smith's my
Yeah.
Instagram.
I
account. There we
reformatted
go.
it to go
Oh,
on
good,
there.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Look at how young. My God, that was over 25 years ago. Me with the mustache and more hair. It was always. I was born with white hair, so that was always that way.
You're blonde.
Yeah, it's on mine too. It came up right away.
Oh, good. And it's on my Instagram now.
Yeah, so it's on there.
Just from
I think I could maybe get that other one, the cute one with Sophie. I sent that to Brian. So
Oh, you did?
Brian, yeah. So Brian, tell us if you have that, because it's kind of fun. It shows that he's fun. He says no. It must have gone somewhere. Maybe I could put that on Twitter too.
That'd be
I'll
great.
work on
I was
that.
trying to put it on Paul W. Smith's, and Sophie helped me. So I thought, well, this is a no-brainer because
Exactly.
she knows what she's doing. I don't. And but we can't. I said to her at dinner, I said, I can't find that thing. That it was a wonderful video that I can probably give you a taste of. And well, let me just see. Kim, did I send that to you, the video? So I can. Oh, I know. I'll just find it on your. Well, I'm not finding it on your text stream. Oh, here it is. I found it. Here's the setup, and I don't know if you can kind of see it. There's a little reflection, but one of the many times I was lucky enough to be around Rush actually happened because Tom Chelani asked if I wanted to go with him and a bunch of guys to a prostate cancer fundraiser that Marvin Shankin from Cigar Aficionado magazine and Wine Spectator, he bought both those magazines. Marvin Shankin was having this big fundraiser in New York City, and Tom Chelani made it possible for us to go. And there was Rush, and we chatted a little bit, and I thanked him for having me fill in and, that sort of stuff. And then I said, by the way, my little girl, Sophie, and she was much younger then. She's 17 now. Hard to believe. But I said, my little girl, Sophie, loves your Rush Revere books. And that was true. She loved them. He did that series of Rush Revere. And in that book, it was always rush, rush, rush to excellence, or rush, rush, rush to whatever. And he said, here, turn your phone camera on to me. I want to do something for Sophie. So I don't know how I can do this well, if I can find the button even.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
really cool. Yeah, that's very
Paul,
special.
That was the Rush that a lot of us knew, that unfortunately so many people writing obituaries today never listened to Rush. They might have tuned in once and heard him say, "With talent on loan from God," and went, "Oh my God, I don't know. That guy's crazy," and never gave him a chance to hear what a fine performer he was in radio that gave him the largest audience.
While
Yes,
you
ma'am.
were talking, I did put that on Twitter too. So
Oh, good.
that's on Twitter if people want to see it. It's really cute.
It was very cute. And it wasn't that long ago, really. I mean, in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
Certainly wasn't like the 25-year picture that I put on Paul W. Smith's. That was, like I say, over 25 years ago because I was in Philly at the time. And I've been back here 25 years doing the morning show.
How long ago was that, would you say?
This one? Kim, do you remember when I went to New York with Tom Chelani and went to that? Maybe five years ago. The terrible thing is, and people have asked me and tried to interview me, and boy, that's an experience because when you speak and they say, "We're going to tape this," I go, "Great," because then you think everything's going to be right. And then I read what they wrote and it's not, it wasn't really exactly the way I said what I said. I know how I talk. You know how I talk. And I was reading it and I thought, interesting interpretation after listening to the actual tape. But anyway, many of the people writing the obituaries, are writing it from a negative standpoint, and that's very sad. If you had any time at all to meet him, if you only knew him on the radio and you didn't really listen on a regular basis to get the real feel for Rush Limbaugh, that's what you're going to read in some of the obituaries. One of the things that I said was, and I don't think it came out exactly this way, was that for people listening to Rush for the first time, for a number of people that we used to call the silent majority, I don't know what they're called today, but they heard him and they said, "Wow, who is that? That's how I feel. No one ever says that. That's how I feel." And so all of a sudden they felt they had someone representing their views that weren't being represented in the mainstream media. And in fact, here's a quote from one of these long stories on Rush's passing. Quote, "I caught you on your very first broadcast on WABC. I've got a WABC story later. That's AM 770. My wife and I were on our way to the Jersey Shore. I heard you talking, and I said to my wife, 'What did that guy say his name was?' And she said, 'I think he said Rush.' And I said, 'Man, I don't know who he is, but I sure like what he's saying. He's saying what I'm thinking.' And then Mike said, 'I've been listening ever since.'" And that really was what really helped Rush become as big as he became. He was saying what a lot of people were thinking for a long time, but never got to say, never got to hear it in mainstream media. And so they felt they had a champion in Rush, and in fact, they did. But what can't be forgotten is how well he did what he did. He was a performer. He was an entertainer. He wasn't just a cold, dry informer, as some people must think. Well, he's out there telling lies and conspiracy theories and, all that. That wasn't Rush. You had to really listen to him. I don't know, Ann, what did he used to say? Listen for a week before you make a determination.
Right. Yeah.
And then, I'm sure that there are people that often listen to Rush that didn't agree with what he was saying, but he was just fun to listen to. He was fun to the way he put things together. Exactly. That doesn't mean that he didn't get off on tangents sometimes, and he made some mistakes along the way that are pretty famous mistakes that cost him, frankly. But overall, he stayed true to what was most important to him, which was he loved this country. He loved the American spirit. He was a patriot. He loved his audience.
The Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR.
Good Thursday morning to you. It's the 18th of February, the 49th day of 2021. There are 316 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And Brian, if I could have that other theme I asked for you to set up. For 31 years, we actually a little more than that, maybe 33, because the Rush Limbaugh Show debuted in syndication August 1st, 1988, on a handful of AM radio stations across the countries. And more than 30 years later, as we celebrate the life of Rush Limbaugh upon his passing, we remember just how important and significant it was to hear this music and realize Rush was coming. I'm not kidding when I tell you. In fact, I remember saying this on the air when I used to fill in for him. They would use the theme, and I would sit there and go, oh my God, Rush isn't coming. I'm going to be on, and everyone's going to be disappointed because I'm disappointed. I want to hear Rush. But it was great fun filling in for the man who single-handedly, and I don't say this lightly, single-handedly saved the very medium we're on, AM radio. Because back in the day, AM was starting to get its butt kicked by this newfangled FM radio. And people were saying, wow, I really like that. It doesn't cut out when you go under a bridge, and it doesn't have static, and it's in stereo. That FM, boy, I love that. So AM was withering on the vine. And Rush Limbaugh came along and single-handedly saved AM radio, gave AM radio a life, extended, put us on life support and extended our lives on AM radio, giving all the rest of us time to catch up with him. And now AM radio, a very viable way to get your news, your information, your entertainment. And by the way, he saved AM radio on a dead time period, on a dead band on the radio. Noon to 3? Seriously, noon to 3? People go to lunch. People aren't sitting around listening to the radio. Noon to 3. They're not sitting at work. They're not sitting at home. Noon to 3? Well, you remember rush rooms? You remember people actually went to certain restaurants to have lunch that had a room set aside for Rush Limbaugh fans to be able to eat lunch in their restaurant with the Rush Limbaugh Show on the radio.
Wow.
Rush
Tell
rooms.
the story about his theme music. I think that's so nice.
Well,
Chrissy Hynde.
Chrissy Hynde is from the Pretenders.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of times we pick themes. I've had 2 or 3 themes. And ours, the one we use now is, I forgot what it was called. What's our theme called? It was the Carla with the K by the Hooters is our current theme. And the Hooters don't care one way or another that I'm playing that music as my theme song. But when you're on a national radio show and you use a theme, that gets people's attention. Well, we saw it during politics. We saw it during the presidential election. President Trump would go through song after song, and then the next day the media would report, well, the Rolling Stones doesn't want him using their music, or whoever it was, because of politics and the way it all goes. But he started using that Chrissy Hynde, the Pretenders music, and she didn't like that. But then she heard from her father, a former Marine, and he loved Rush Limbaugh. He loved Rush and never missed a show. So Chrissy said, for my dad, whatever, I'll let him do it. And Chrissy later kind of got to know Rush and loved him, liked him, as anyone who got to know him would, even if she or anyone else didn't, of those people that would listen, didn't really appreciate his politics or, whatever. They still found, especially if they had a chance to really spend a minute with him, that he was such a he was a gentleman's gentleman. He was on the radio bombastic, and that's why he had the largest radio listening audience in the history of radio, because he understood the performance aspect of doing a radio show. He knew if he just gave us his philosophy and tried to push us to far right and do all the things, it wouldn't play well. But he knew what he was doing as a performer and an entertainer, and which is why he had done so well for so many years. It made him durable. You know, if people watch Johnny Carson once, they might get the magic, but there was a good chance they didn't. If they listened to J.P. McCarthy once, they might get the magic, but they maybe wouldn't. And they might walk away saying, what's the big deal? What was so special about that? What's special is the durability of the Johnny Carson, of the J.P. McCarthy, of the whoever, fill in the blank, Rush Limbaugh, meaning they were able to do what they did every day, and we tuned in, or a lot of us did, enough to make it millions and the biggest audience ever. We tuned in and stayed with them. I hope you continue to tune in and stay with us here on the Paul W. Smith Show on this Thursday morning, where it is now 6:13. By the way, I want to explain something. When we now switch off on camera, you people that are listening just on radio don't know, I do 3 kisses. I do a kiss to the team and Ann here when I kiss. I do a kiss to my lovely wife, Kim, wherever she might be, happens to be here with me now. And I do a kiss to our audience, because I love our audience too, just like Rush loves you. So, taking care of a little business at 6:14.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
It's a new year, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are still desperate. Join Compassion with your one-time $40 gift to provide a COVID relief kit to a family in poverty. Text the word GIVE to 83393. That's GIVE to 83393.
Seeing some slow traffic at 75 northbound between Dixie Highway and Netto Road. That's because construction is there. 75 both directions between Netto Road and 275. Look for intermittent closures expected until further notice. As for emergency utility work, you can take Telegraph instead. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, where buying a car is fun, fast, and friendly. No advertised fake lowball prices, just great service, great pricing. Come home to Gordon Chevrolet on Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads.
You see some flurry snow showers around as we head through this morning and into the afternoon. Could see it dusting up to an inch in some spots, 26 degrees. Snow showers early tonight, and overnight low 15. Tomorrow, some early morning sun, then mostly cloudy, 27. Dry Saturday, maybe a little more snow on Sunday. From a Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagicon, News Talk 760 WJR.
And Ray, depending on where you are,